This conference will now be recorded.
Good morning, this is Jack from Charting the Markets Crypto, and this is the pre-market webinar for the morning of Thursday, the 12th of September. My disclaimer, I did this for educational purposes only. I'm here to share my technical analysis with you. I hope you can take some of what I'm doing, learn from it, transfer it to your own charts. I'm not here to issue trading signals. Right, okay, let's have a look at let's have a look at the Bitcoin chart first. Okay, on the daily chart, we're not back at the daily middle band yet, but if we are going to see a serious breakup, that's pretty obvious. That's where we need to be getting back over, and that is at 58,701. On the hourly chart, we've got an RSI 14 sell signal fix that hasn't made target yet. I'm thinking we might do a bit more downside, particularly because, hang on, wait a second, because we may be forming an inverted head and shoulders here. And that was the obvious neckline, but we've actually landed this one. Ideally, the right shoulder low would be in about 55.6k area, and I'm thinking we may pull back, make that right shoulder, make that signal target, and then sorry, I was on the verge of a sneeze, but it's not quite delivered. So I'm thinking we may well be forming an IHS, and then we may see a breakup. If we do see a breakup, then the target for that would be in about the 64.3k area on a break over 58.5. Okay, let's have a look at Ethereum. Ethereum, I think it's fair to say that almost nothing of any interest is happening. We could have a possible IHS here too, but it would be ugly. Not nearly as nice as the one on Bitcoin or the one on Solana. So I'm not really reading too much into it. There is still potential unfinished business below at 21.38 retest of. Although we could be forming a larger flag, and this is one thing we need to consider in terms of the others as well. We could be a rise here may just be preceding a return to the lows. The IHSs we're talking about here would not be definitive. We would be talking about a move back to here on Bitcoin that really wouldn't break us up from the flag. We could see that rally and then come back. Nonetheless, looks promising for the short term. On the daily chart, we've got an RSI 5 buy signal fixed on Solana below the daily middle band, which I've got at 139.13, and we have another potential inverted head and shoulders there. We've come up almost perfectly to the neckline, and I was talking about pulling back to 127. We've made it back to 130. If we see a bit more downside, or even if we went up from here, we could have a very nice looking IHS here. Sustained break back up over 138, and that could take us back up into the 153, 154 area. Would that get us into an area where the natural direction would necessarily be higher? Not necessarily, no. We might then still come back and retest a lower 110, but I think we may well see that move, and at the moment it's setting up quite nicely to deliver that. Nothing really much to say on the 15-minute charts, nothing much on Avalanche, which is over the daily middle band and holding that so far. Although we came back for another back test of it yesterday, still trying to convert it. In terms of the equity charts, what I was talking about on the webinar this morning was the possibility we'd come back and retest the high here on SPX and then potentially come down. We need to bear in mind what that might mean on the others. On Bitcoin and Solana, it means that we could see these IHSs, they could break up and make target, and then they could potentially fail back with equities. We will see how that goes. But I'm thinking that may be the sequence here, and then we come back and retest that low. We will see how that goes. In terms of equities, would I be thinking of a really big decline? Not really. I think what we may be looking at is just a bearish October, make a low, and then potentially take off for 2 or 3 months after that. So I'm not looking for anything huge, and I'm thinking we might see the same on crypto at the same time. Am I seeing much of a case for getting much lower than the existing lows on Bitcoin and Ethereum and Solana? Not really. Overall, the setup looks like a bull flag. It's just taken a while to form. Chances are this is going to resolve higher sooner or later. The question is with what pattern and when. In terms of a retest of the low, it would make a less good because it's slightly oversized double bottom on Bitcoin, but we could set up some really nice double bottoms on all 3 of them, take off from that, and then come back and take out these highs. And that's still my lean on the bigger picture, so we'll see. All right, great. In that case, no questions. So I think that's a wrap. I'll have everything posted as soon as possible. I'll catch you guys later.